So if you've got a job in like 3 weeks, maybe I'll hit you up. I'm pretty good on a rock truck. Pretty good on an excavator.
Do you really want to sit in a dump truck?
Fred Lewis, a familiar face on Gold Rush, is facing one of the toughest crossroads in his mining career. After years of relentless effort, personal sacrifice, and unwavering determination, Fred finds himself nearing the end of the road, and with no gold-rich ground in sight, he's forced to consider what once felt unthinkable: walking away. The signs were clear. Despite putting in everything they had, Fred and his crew had come up empty-handed yet again. Their latest prospecting efforts in El Dorado failed to deliver the results they desperately needed. With hope dwindling and time running out, Fred's wife, Kara, gently suggested they speak with Parker Schnabel, an experienced miner who had not only introduced Fred to the gold mining world but had also served as a mentor through some of the toughest seasons. Fred agreed. If anyone could offer honest advice or even a glimmer of opportunity, it was Parker. When the two men met, Fred was candid about his situation. Last season had been rough, and the ground they'd looked at simply didn't offer the yield required to keep the operation alive. He explained how he felt compelled to talk to Parker before making any big decisions, acknowledging that Parker had played a pivotal role in his journey into mining. Parker, though empathetic, was blunt. The industry had only gotten tougher, he said. Good ground was rare and increasingly difficult to secure. Leasing out land no longer made sense for most established miners, especially when the economics just didn't add up. While Fred made it clear he wasn't there to ask for land, the gravity of his visit became more apparent when he asked, almost hesitantly, if there might be a job available in a few weeks. He mentioned his experience operating heavy machinery, skills he hoped might earn him a spot on Parker's crew, even if it meant taking a step back and sitting in a rock truck. Parker didn't say no outright, but his response was cautious. His crew was already larger than necessary, and he admitted that bringing someone new on board would be difficult under the current circumstances. For Fred, it was a humbling moment. This wasn't just about a job, it was about the symbolic end of a chapter that had defined years of his life. He reflected on how Parker had brought him into the industry, and now, as the journey seemed to come full circle, Fred was considering stepping away from mining altogether. Before parting ways, Fred expressed his gratitude. He told Parker he felt he owed him a great deal and was thankful they could end things on good terms, even if the outcome wasn't what he'd hoped for. As Fred walked away, Parker was left with mixed emotions. He admitted it was hard to see someone walk away from something they'd poured so much of themselves into, and even harder to watch them reach the point of asking for help. Later, Fred opened up about how deeply this moment had affected him. Letting go of the Yukon felt like surrendering a dream, one he wasn't ready to give up. But amid the disappointment, he chose to focus on what had been accomplished. Their mission had never been solely about gold, it was about giving veterans a new purpose, a fresh start, and in that sense, Fred believed they had succeeded. Kara agreed. They had entered an industry known for its brutality and near-impossible odds, yet managed to create a team and leave a mark. Through highs and lows, they had stuck together. As Fred put it, we're down, but we're not out. And though this chapter may be closing, his story is far from over. Fred Lewis was never the typical gold miner. When he first appeared on Discovery Channel's Gold Rush in Season 11, he brought a different kind of grit and determination to the screen, not forged in the mines, but in the military. A former Special Forces medic, Fred arrived with a mission, not only to strike gold but to give fellow veterans a new sense of purpose and belonging. Yet just a few seasons later, Fred quietly vanished from the gold fields, leaving many fans asking the same question: what happened to Fred Lewis? Here's a look at his journey, from his early days in the Klondike to his unexpected exit, and where he is now. Fred first joined Gold Rush as part of Parker Schnabel's crew. With his military background, leadership qualities, and relentless drive, he quickly earned Parker's respect. Though he lacked mining experience, Fred was willing to learn, and more importantly, he was determined. His physical stamina and medical skills made him a valuable asset, especially in remote and hazardous conditions. Over time, he gained enough confidence and knowledge to try mining on his own. By season 12, Fred had launched his own mining operation. He brought along a team of fellow veterans, many of whom were also new to mining. His effort to give vets a second chance at life through gold mining struck a chord with viewers. But the reality of running a successful operation proved far more difficult than Fred had imagined. Despite his passion, Fred's mining seasons were plagued by setbacks. Equipment failures, and profitable ground, and a lack of experience all contributed to his struggles. Fans were often divided on Fred's role in the show. While many praised his integrity and commitment to helping veterans, others criticized his mining skills, arguing that his crew lacked the expertise needed to succeed. By season 14, Fred was absent when the season began. It wasn't until 5 episodes in that he reappeared, this time, not as a mine boss, but as a man looking for work. He met with Parker Schnabel again, hoping for guidance or possibly a job. Fred made it clear he wasn't looking for acclaim, just a chance to contribute, even suggesting he'd be willing to run a rock truck or excavator. But Parker had no openings. The crew was already full. It was a sobering moment, and perhaps a turning point. Fred admitted that coming back to Parker felt like closing a chapter. He wasn't quite ready to give up on gold mining entirely, but it was clear his journey with Gold Rush had come full circle. The real reason Fred left Gold Rush. Not long after, Fred revealed the real reason for his decision to step away from the series. In a candid and emotional social media post, he shared that his departure wasn't due to failed mining efforts, it was a matter of safety. He disclosed that he had received a serious threat and chose to prioritize the well-being of his family above all else. "My family's safety is paramount," he wrote. "And with my background, I simply don't have a space for violence in my life anymore. So I'm separating myself from it and moving on." It was a striking reminder that behind the cameras, reality stars live real lives, with real risks. For Fred, the decision to walk away wasn't easy, but it was necessary. Life after Gold Rush. Since stepping away from the show, Fred Lewis has found new ways to channel his energy and passions. He remains active on social media, where he often shares glimpses into his post-mining lifestyle. Interestingly, he seems to be reconnecting with his military roots, especially when it comes to firearms and physical fitness. Fred frequently posts videos of himself at shooting ranges, taking part in target shooting tournaments with friends. He seems to enjoy the precision and discipline of marksmanship, much like he once did in service. In a way, it's a return to the structure and camaraderie that mining never fully offered him. He's also taken a deep dive into personal health and well-being. Fred promotes fitness routines, healthy eating, and even baking, yes, baking. Lately, he's been learning the art of sourdough bread making and seems genuinely excited about it. It's an unexpected shift from the rough-and-tumble world of gold mining, but one that suits him. Will Fred ever return to mining? Fred hasn't completely ruled out a future in gold mining. In interviews, he's acknowledged that he's the kind of person who's always seeking out new challenges. Mining was one such adventure, but he's also aware of other, more stable opportunities to earn a living. He has admitted that while gold mining sparked something in him, it may not be the long-term path he pursues. That said, he's continued looking into alternative mining ventures. He's just no longer interested in the high-stakes drama or toxic dynamics that often accompany reality TV. And it's likely that his failed attempt to rejoin Parker's team was part of the final straw. While their meeting ended on good terms, the reality was clear: there was no place for Fred on Parker's crew. And perhaps, no place for Fred on Gold Rush at all anymore.